Morning, good Tuesday morning to you all. This is Duncan, and I'm sat in my little box office staring at the same thing you're staring at. This is our webpage. This is stowmarketgolfcentre.co.uk, and the home of everything you need. A lot of stuff you just simply don't need that's here, or the lessons you might do. Probably a good idea to think about some lessons. What you're really looking for is across this green bar here. On the right hand side there is a little button that says scores and results, and that is effectively a members area. And if I pull that down just a little bit, you can see what I see. To enter your scores for the current monthly medal or Stableford, please click here, and that opens up this page. And in here you just you jot your name in. So let's call him Barry McBurger, I don't know, the third. He's our new member. Started on the first hole and his scores were 3, 5, 6, 3, 4, 7, 2 and 8. So he went round in 40. And at the end of the week we take all those scores and we turn them into a set of results. The information you need is at the top here, look. So the November medal includes the Winter Eclectic, Break 40 and the ladder. I'll explain those in a moment. And here's what you need to know. You can submit one card during the week starting Monday the 3rd of November. And that means that you can't do 3 and choose your best one, and you can't go around twice and put the one that's the lowest. You need to tell yourself or tell the world at large which one's going to be the one you're going to submit, and you need to go ahead and submit it. So your handicap should go up as well as down. They need to be a reflection of your actual golf, not just your best golf. So that's the link for that there, and down here for members only you can find the link to book your tee times by clicking there. That opens up Google Docs. Let's just cancel that, and here's today's page, and you can see every 8 minutes there's a link, there's a time, and you just have to jot your name in. Initials will do. And those in green are people that are visiting us and are going to pay a fee, and those in blue are people that have paid. You'll sometimes see, like tomorrow, there's a whole bunch of S's in a row. That just means it's seniors morning, and they're a shotgun start, so it needs to be closed. There are little groups like the Waffles and the Togs. They are groups of people that play at the same time every week, so we just save them the hassle of having to book their own space, and we book it for them. This is an important box here, coming into winter. If the golf course is closed, or if we're going to make an inspection and might close it, it'll be written in here. So if you're under any doubt about the state of the golf course, this will be updated by 8 AM on any given morning. I might also just delete some of the early times to give myself just a little bit of leeway. And then below here, finally, you have all the competitions, which are what we're going to go through today. So every month there is a medal and a Stableford, and the scores from these two events then create the information we need to run the Winter Eclectic, Break 40 and the ladder. So let's start at the beginning. October medal obviously happened at the beginning of October. One of our new members, Jason Sewell, he went round in 33, which also included a hole-in-one. So that's a nice way to sort of make your introduction to the membership at large. So the way a medal works is Jason began the round with a handicap of 11, which is the result of his previous play, his historic play. He had a very good score of 33. So we take the 33, we deduct the handicap to give a net score, and we know par to be 29. So he's 7 under the par of 29. That's why he's won. And as a consequence his handicap has reduced from 11 down to 7. You can reverse engineer this, and what you can say is we know par to be 29, so when Jason started that round his target score, what he was aiming to beat when he went out, was 29 plus 11, which is 40. And because he had a good round, we've changed his target score to now 29 plus 7, 36. That will sort him out, won't it? So in second place was Tim Glass, a very impressive 32 off 8. So he's net score of 24 and a new handicap of 5. And then some of our perhaps more longer in the tooth members, is that a kind way of putting it? Derek Irish 25, John Thorpe 25, Richard Berry, one of our new ones, 25. Then Felicity and Jackie both 26, Robbie and Malcolm, another new member, Malcolm 26. 27, 2 under handicap, still very good scoring, Miles, Ray, Nigel, Chris and Tracy. And then a whole host of 28s. And then those on 29, that's deemed close enough to stay the same on your handicap, and that counts right the way through to net 32. There's a lot of people played, so even up to the 32s. David Luxford was the last one. He's deemed to have been close enough to his target score, so his handicaps remained the same. And any more than 32 net handicaps increased by 1. So you've got Stuart Minns, who went from 8 up to 9. Now it doesn't matter how many over your handicap you play, you can only increase by 1. So congratulations to Jason Sewell. The third week of the month we held the Stableford, and one of our new members, Mel Temple-Smith. Mel scored 28 points. This happens at the beginning of a new member's golfing experience, and we've got Malcolm's a new member, Duncan Selby's a new member. Anyone else down there I can see? Nope, just those three. A Stableford is where you're aiming to score 2 points per hole, and it's based on your handicap, so really 18 points is the target score. And so if you score more than 18 points, you've done better than you expected to do. So Mel has done 10 better than normal. Bearing in mind Mel's only been playing a few weeks, this does happen at the beginning. So Mel's handicap, which was 35, has now been reduced down to 25. So a very impressive effort. Malcolm Higgins got 23 points, so his handicap drops from 11 to 8. And Nanette Reuter, a very good round of golf, 22 points off 10, down to 8 handicap. My namesake, Duncan Selby, 22 points off 12, down to 10. And all these people who scored 19 points or more, so all the ones on your screen now, all beat handicap, so many congratulations to all of those. And you can see handicaps will vary. This is just ordered in who beat their handicap by the most. So Mel will settle down, her handicap will continue to drop, and she will find herself, well, I say that, you look at this. This is the Winter Eclectic. And the Winter Eclectic is played for 6 months. It started in the beginning of October, and it will run right through to the end of March. So it's 6 months of competitions, 2 a month, so it's 12 events. Now the Winter Eclectic is why you put your scores in hole by hole. So the Winter Eclectic remembers, take Malcolm for example, for the two events we've played, Malcolm's best score on the first is a 4, and a 4 on the second, a 4 on the third, 4 on the fourth. So it's Malcolm's eclectic best through all of the events we're going to play. So if Malcolm pars the first and the third next time, he'll improve 2 of his scores by 1, and that will affect the end score. So this is about trying to make sure you par or birdie all of the holes, and this will fluctuate greatly. We've got some of our regular contenders in this, and the net's always at the top end, and so's Wayne. I think Ian had a good run last year, so did Malcolm. And everyone who puts a card in will be on here. So we're currently 145 people are in it after 2 events. So Malcolm's lowest handicap in this window he's played so far is 11. His best 9 scores add up to 33. He's allowed 70% of his 11 handicap, which is 7.7, giving him a net score of 25.3, which at the moment is half a shot ahead of Chris, and what is that? Eighth of a shot ahead of Malcolm Rowe. So this will bubble and boil. This will go on, and by no stretch will we know. Even 3/4 of the way through, we probably still won't know who's going to win that, because it'll come down to a single stroke somewhere at the end. So that's the Winter Eclectic. That's why you put your medals and Stablefords in, and that's why you put them in regardless of whether you feel it's a good round or a bad round, because you might just have squeaked a par on a hole that you didn't already have a par, and that'll be enough to bump you up the leaderboard 10 spots. So you must put your cards in. The next one, again, running the same way, it takes the scores from your medals and Stablefords. This is break 40. So if you go round in less than 40 shots, we give you 1 point for each shot less than 40 you did. This doesn't take into account handicap. So this is one of our scratch events. This is one of our pure just golf events. This is where the lower handicappers probably are more looking to see where they are. So Nigel Salmon in the October medal beat 40 by 11. That'll tell you he went round in 29 shots. Did he really? Can we find him on here? There we go. Nigel Salmon, who was 29 shots, handicap of 2, so his net score was 27, and his handicap drops to 1. Very impressive. So he was 29 in the October medal, and he had a 32 in the October Stableford. and that's where he's got his 19 points from. So the more you beat 40 by, the more you collect points. And Martin Reuter, who won this event last year, hot on his heels, two rounds of 30. No, is that 30? Why do I think Martin had I might have to check that. Robbie Hill, a fresh face up there, 14 points in third place. Ian and Wayne sharing fourth. Now what happens is at the end of this event, by the end of the March Stableford, the top 16 players, let's get rid of that, the top 16 players go into a knockout. It's called the Scratch Knockout, and it'll take place during the summer of 2026. And there's no handicaps in that, so getting into the Scratch Knockout is really a good effort. If you can get yourself into that by breaking 40 regularly, then you've done extremely well. So keep an eye on how that one ticks over. And then the final one is the ladder. Now the ladder, I set you a target each month, and if you beat it, you go into the next round. You climb the ladder. But if you don't beat it, I'm afraid you're out. So I'll read it to you. 6 of you managed to score 33 or better in either the October Medal or the October Stableford, and you've taken another step up the ladder. Now, it's 6 people who were still in it from the previous month, so you can't just arrive and put a good score in and suddenly jump into it. You had to have done all the best scores in the previous few months. So it says 2 were knocked out during October, and the next challenge, this is for those who are still in it, is to score 32 or better in either the November Medal or the November Stableford to make it into the next round. Those still climbing are, and these 6 people have done really well. They've managed to match the challenge every month, and I'm sure they'll all be very keen to try and do their 32. You've got Andrew Steggles, Chris Starmer, Graham Cully, Ian Ogden, Martin Reuter and Nigel Salmon. So we're going to see who can go the furthest. So November's challenge is 32 or better, and if they can do that, then December's challenge is 31 or better, which will be a tricky one. So that's all the information, the handicaps you can find there, and that's all I have to offer for you now. So have a really good week, and thanks for listening, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.